Hey guys, cameraman Mac is not here, and we're here with my friend Andrew, and this is his vampire deck, aka the Undefeated, super cheap, I hate deck that nobody wants to play against in our hometown. Um, Basically, this is his deck, and do you want to say something about it up against the duels?
It's undefeated, so good luck defeating it if you guys ever come to Ohio.
Has there been anybody that's even come close to beating it, like, at all?
About 2 or 3 people.
And what's the best decks to use to counter a deck like this, or if any?
The best deck probably to counter this would probably be a white-green deck.
Alright, and basically, as I understand, the strategy of vampires is to just get as many as you can onto the field as fast as possible. Is that the thing?
Yep.
Alright, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at his deck and see what's so great about that makes it undefeated. Alright, if you want to start with the land, it's kind of a tradition. Alright, so how many of each land do you got?
There's about 10 of each land in here. Well, actually, there's probably 15 swamps and about 10 mountains, so altogether about 25 land.
Okay, so around 25 land. How often do you find yourself getting mana screwed or have no mana in the first hand? Is it often, or?
Not often as you think. Like, in the first hand, I at least get 4 or 5 mana, and I can quickly get that down, and then when I get the necessary creatures to lay on the battlefield, I can use them.
Alright, so around 25 land, focus on swamps, red, green, couple, and then like 10 mountain. Alright, next we're going to go to these instants, and these instants are manly. Right here, as you can already see on top, we've got Sorin's Thirst. You've got 3 of those, and, 2 damage, 2 life, creatures. Terrible card to play against. 2 Grave Purges, an Urge to Feed, this Vampiric Fury. Now, what does this do? I haven't seen this card.
Gives it plus a creature +2, all vampire creatures +2/+0, and gives them first strike until end of turn.
Alright, yeah, and since this is a vampire deck, that's all your creatures. Sounds like a good late game card. Victim of the Night. Destroy non-vampire, werewolf, zombie creature, so just gets rid of a couple cards. Fires of Undeath, and he's got 2 of them. Alright, so that's basically what he's got for instance. Really good. Over here we've got the creatures, and if you just want to go how many and what you got and just lay them down around this area right here.
I couldn't tell you how many there are, but
Just go through.
Got Markov Blade Master.
Alright, Double Strike, 1/1.
Sengir Vampire.
Alright, that's a nice card.
2 Vampire Outcasts. 1 Bloodseeker. 2 Gatekeeper Malikers, which are a good vampire card to have in a vampire deck.
Yeah, definitely good, if not just amazing.
1 Pulse Tracker, which is okay. It's not the best.
If you look at these, look at all these cards. Look at the mana cost. They're all like 1, 2. I think the highest we've seen is Sengir Vampire over there, and he's got just 5 vampires. They don't cost a lot. Great abilities.
Then we got 2 Vampire Nighthawks, which are 3 drops. Death Touch, Lifelink, pretty good, 2/3.
Flying as well.
Flying as
big
well.
asset.
Then we got Calatus, Bloodchief of Get. Pretty good vampire if you're going to go with destroying your opponent's defense.
Now, would you say that this is your creature general of this deck, or since it's your legendary?
No, I think the creature general of this deck would probably be Olivia Voldaren.
Alright, and actually we will see her here in a little bit. So
Next one is Bloodlord of Vaskoth. Again, a high mana cost, but totally worth it. He gives all my vampires Bloodthirst 3 if I have dealt an opponent damage this turn.
Nice mythic rare over here. Nice mythic rare.
Then we got 2 Child of Knights, which are just good for just lifelink abilities.
Insane. Just all these low mana costs, you can get a bunch out.
Falconwrath Noble.
Flying 2/2 for, what is it? Yes, 4. Amazing.
And then we got 2 Fiend of the Shadows, which are good for depleting your opponent's hand and adding things to your battlefield.
Yeah, and a couple of rares. Are these? Is this foil? Yep, foil rare. Nice.
Then we got a Vengeful Vampire, which is good for its Undying and Flying ability.
Love Undying, just such a great ability.
Malachor Blood Witch, which is an okay card, but it's an excellent card when you have it in a vampire deck because its ability activates, which the amount of vampires I have on the battlefield, that's how much damage is dealt to every player, and I gain that much life.
Just some wicked cards over here.
2 Blood Rage Vampires, which are good for its quick Bloodthirst ability.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got a Strong Kirk Captain, which will power up all my vampires.
Good red-black card.
Then we got Olivia Voldaren.
Of course, you gotta have her in the vampire deck.
She allows me to turn my target player creature that I just hate. So if I hate a player, I can turn one of his creatures into a vampire, then gain control of it.
And I've been talking around. Apparently, if you're playing a green deck and you have her in your deck, the game is already over because the low mana cost to turn, say, a huge worm into a vampire and then take control of it. Have you seen that? Have you done that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's insane when you see that.
All the time.
Alright.
Then we got a Wormcoil Engine, which really isn't a vampire. It's just, I put it in there because it's lifelink abilities.
And it's got Death Touch, which everybody loves Death Touch.
Then we got Butcher of Malachor. Basically, whenever any of my creatures die that are on the battlefield, each of my opponents must sacrifice a creature.
Yeah, a lot of vampires in here, but with the low mana cost, just amazing. Now, over here with his artifacts, 2 Elixirs of Immortality, which, just amazing cards. And then, right here, Blade of Bloodsheath.
Whenever a creature
Rare.
is put into the graveyard, doesn't have to even be mine, I get a +1/+1 counter on one of my creatures. And if it's a vampire, 2 +1/+1 counters.
Ridiculously cheap card. Alright, we've already done the lands, let's get those out of the way. On to enchantments. Yes.
We got Curse of Thirst, which deals damage to an opponent.
Not only is it Curse of Thirst, it's Curse of Thirst foil.
It's foil. Then we got Curse of Bloodletting, which deals double damage to an opponent if I hit him directly.
Yep.
Then we got Necrotic Plague, which really isn't a vampire thing. It's just really used to clear the battlefield up, so that way I can
hate this card.
Go down.
Just read it. Just read it. It goes back and forth, and you destroy a creature. So and the dumbest thing to do when you have that is play more creatures, because it's just gonna get destroyed.
Yep.
Hate it. All right, I think we're on sorceries now.
Yes, we are.
Let's go to sorceries. All right.
I have Diabolic Tutor, which just allows me to go to my library and quickly search for any card I want.
Get that Olivia Voldaren out if you need a late game or a Planeswalker, maybe a Chalice of Life, something like that.
Then I got Increasing Ambition, which allows me to go, again, to my library.
Now, don't you have 2 of those?
No, I do not. But the unique thing about this card is that when it is in my graveyard, I can flashback it and then go through my library and search for 2 more cards.
Yeah, flashback ability, that's a great one. Just be able to use it twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have a Feast of Blood, which...
Enough said. It's like Taste of Blood, only it's upgraded, basically.
Yep. Destroy target creature, gain life. Then 2 Corrupts, which deal damage to an opponent based upon the amount of swamps I have.
It's basically like the Black Fireball. Alright, I think, yeah, let's just start out with those, and then we'll go on to the really main attraction of this deck.
I have a Chalice of Life,
which flips,
transforms into
Chalice of Death.
Which deals 5 damage to an opponent directly.
Yeah, you just keep this out, game over. Really, not fair.
Then I have Chosen of Markov, which is okay, but when you transform it's a 4/4 vampire, which really is just used to lower your creatures your opponent has on the battlefield.
Loving that artwork.
Now, on to the main attraction
Yes,
of the deck.
the ones that are killers.
Is Chandra Naller, the Planeswalker.
Or Chandra Nalar. But this one's the Firebrand, though.
I just used her second ability, which allows me to copy sorceries and then use them again. It's pretty good for those diabolic tutors and instants that I have in here.
So you never get to the final ability, which is 6 damage, 6 to 6 people or planeswalkers or whatever?
I really only use that when I'm really, really low on health, or if I just really want to screw around with someone.
Very.
Then, the final one, my Vampire Planeswalker, is Sorin Markov. Not the new Sorin Markov from Innistrad, but the 2012 Sorin Markov.
It's not Lord of Innistrad. But, as I understand, aren't you looking to put Innistrad in here?
Yes, I am.
And then are you going to take out...
the money.
Are you going to take out Markov, or are you going to take out Chandra the Firebrand, or are you just going to put all 3 of them in there, or what's going on?
I'm probably going to leave both of the Sorins in there, just because if one dies, I have another one.
And
both
then
equally just as powerful.
You're going to keep Chandra in here for the...
Oh, yeah. Chandra's sorcery ability
you're just going to add them
to stay in there.
Now, with this deck, I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. On paper, it shouldn't work, but together... It really is undefeated. I haven't beat it with burn deck, blue deck, green deck.
Might I add, I've gone against 5 people against me one time, still destroyed them with this deck.
Yeah, 5-on-1, this deck wins, no matter what. Vampire decks are known as the cheapest deck to play with, and I think actually the cards are pretty cheap too, other than like the planeswalkers and legendary creatures. You get them in almost every fat pack, and if you want to just mess around with your opponent, play vampires.
Really good way to make them mad.
Yeah, this has been Deck Tech on Vampires with Andrew and Trevor. You know, I'm speechless. This deck just makes me so mad. I'm going to end it here. Like, rate, comment, subscribe. Tell him what he did wrong. Tell him what he did right. If he needs to add anything or you have any suggestions, leave it in a comment. See ya. Bye-bye.